What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a game called Warlords Under Siege. This is an interesting little title that kind of reminds me of Ratropolis. This is a game that's entering early access on December 2nd, and it's a game where you're building up a castle, and you are trying to defend it from endless waves of orcs. As you no doubt noticed from the thumbnail, they are coming for you. They want to batter down your gates, and not in like a chicken nugget sense, no. No chicken nuggies will be exchanged during this adventure. We're going to play the game for about 25-30 minutes today and see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or otherwise pass on. At the end of the video, I'm going to do my best to give you my impressions of the game after the 2 or 3 hours that I've spent with it so far. Down below, you'll find a link to this game's early access where you can jump on in, and then on top of that, you can also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream just in case you wanted to hang out live. Let's go ahead and run a game, and I'll do my best to kind of explain to you what is happening as we play. The game does have deck building aspects to it, much in the same way that Ratropolis does. So as you play the game, you get gold. You spend the gold in the card shop to buy new cards. These cards are basically your technologies, your passive abilities, your units, all that kind of stuff that you can use while you're fighting with the enemy. I put together a deck right now that I think is going to be okay. I think it's going to survive and go the distance. The goal of the game is to survive 25 minutes. As of right now, Western Valley is the only map that I've played so far, but the developers have teased Passage of the Dead up on the Steam page, so I'm assuming that that's coming pretty soon. Let's go ahead and dive on in. We might be surviving for 20 minutes, maybe not 25, I don't know. The game does have this game has a press kit that is a banger. Whoever the artist is that's making all this watercolor stuff for their game, they've done an absolutely fantastic job because that's what initially drew me on in, was just the art style. Welcome to our village. We have a hero. He's right there. If he dies, he's gone for good. We've got a lumber mill that we just built right there. We've got ourselves a stone quarry that we just built right there. And then we're probably going to want to put up some basic towers. If I can get a little bit of stone in, actually. I've got my deck set up so that I can get up to Lumber Mill 2 very, very quickly. I found that, like, supporting my economy in this game is a really, really good idea. So let's go Lumber Mill 2 real fast so that we're getting twice as much wood on out. Everything in this game is built on concrete tiles. They don't move around. You can't slide them. All the building is preordained, or at least the slots are. And then you put things where you want them to go. We're sitting on top of 1,400 wood right now, so I'm going to get my first couple arrow towers up and running. And then we're just going to RTS our little guy around. He does level up. There's a lot of little details in this game that I actually like. All of the units in this game level up. All of the units in this game get stronger the more enemies they've killed. All of them have, like, specialized classes. Like, they can morph into different classes, like 2 or 3 times if you've got the respective buildings for it. And so there's definitely some thought going on into this thing. Now, every time we kill a goblin, down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a purple meter. When it fills up, we get to draft from our deck and get a new technology or a new thing that we can do. For right now, we didn't really get anything that I want on that pick. We got Earth Blessing, which basically gives our hero a lot more HP, and I found that that's actually a pretty vital upgrade. If you don't have it, he's actually kind of squishy, but if you can double his HP, or at least 50% his HP, he actually can be a wall that moves, basically, on the map. We'll get another Arrow Tower up and running over there. My starting deck has Arrow Tower 2 in it as an unlocked technology, because I've found that bum rushing Arrow Tower 2 is like one of the best things you can possibly do. You can play the game on autopilot a little bit if you've got Arrow Tower 2. But until you get Arrow Tower 2, because like buying cards in the card shop is random, you don't know what you're going to get, you basically open booster packs. It took me a long time to get Arrow Tower 2, and so I was thinking the game had serious balance issues, but as it turns out, there are certain technologies in this game that up until you get them, you're not going to survive much longer than a certain amount of minutes. Let's take Influential Command. That increases my unit cap by 3. It's not useful right this second, but it will be useful later on. We've got enough money for 1 Arrow Tower 2 right there. Oh, I don't even have Wall 1 technology. We're going to have to wait for that to come on up. I'm running a weird deck right now. Now, as another thing for you to pay attention to, every X amount of time, a caravan is going to come in from a gate on the north and on the south at the end of these roads. And if they make it into your city, you get a bunch of resources. You'll get progression currency, you'll get wood, you'll get metal, you'll get stone. Not a lot. It's usually like 30 or 40. But it does add up over the course of like a 20-minute stand against the enemy to where you can end up getting like an extra 1,000 currency to buy booster packs with and whatnot, and get yourself some new technologies that can fill in some weaker areas in your overall defensive strategy. These towers are holding okay down here, I think. but I may have to deploy my hero down this way just to help out a little bit. Like, because I think there's a solid chance that they're going to break through. What do we have over here? We've got House of Healing, Stomp, Bastion, Quarry 2. I'll take Quarry 2 because it's useful. Yeah, they actually just kind of beelined it. Okay, my hero's going to have to take care of that then. Hopefully they don't break down my quarry. I like that quarry. It has sentimental value. It's a sentimental quarry, dude. My grandmama got me that quarry. She got it for me for Christmas. Let's go ahead and wipe these guys out. There we go. And now that we've saved that little section, I feel a little bit better. Let's get another Tower 2 up. They seem to be hitting the top a little bit harder, and I'll leave the heroes stationed down here at the bottom to run interference. Now my towers fire 2 arrows at a time, which doesn't sound like it matters, but it actually does. It's going to kill most of these enemies before they even get to us, and it's going to ensure that we have a solid churn of XP to get new technologies and cards. If you get behind the curve and the enemy starts lining up on your wall and you're not killing them in a time-effective way, your XP slows down to a really, really slow pace, which means you're not getting new technologies, which means your society's not getting stronger, and things start falling apart. I'm not getting anything that I want right now. We'll go Lumber Mill 3, I guess. I don't have any metal right now to support Lumber Mill 3, but it's okay. We're early on in the playthrough, but RNGesus does seem to be a little bit upset with us at the moment. We still haven't drawn any walls. We still haven't drawn a lot of things, and so it may get worse before it gets better. But we are getting caravans in, so that's nice. Yeah, shield guys are beginning to show up. These shield guys are a big problem. They're the first enemy that you go up against that have really condensed health pools. And take a long time to kill. I think the towers should be able to handle them before they get too far into my territory, but there are no guarantees in this life, and man, I really wish I had walls right now. This is a really strong argument for me to put walls back in my starting technologies, but I've had success with this deck. Like, I've gone really far with this deck when the cards come up in the right order. Man, this deck is a banger, but when, like, they don't come up in the right order, it's a little tiny bit panic-inducing. I'm not going to lie, I may have developed a little bit of anxiety while playing the game. There's another level up. Walls? Yay, walls! Let's get walls, and we'll get archery about as soon as we can. But I need to use some of this extra wood to get these walls down. There we go. The walls are now down. You get off my caravan. I don't like it when you chew on my caravan. Every now and again, the enemies are going to drop little bags. They'll just have various resources inside of them. All of our towers are fully upgraded now, so we should be reasonably defended. You go up and get the treasure bags real fast, but we still don't have gate technology. We still don't have wall 2. We still don't have archers. And things are going to get pretty bad around the 11-minute mark if we don't get those things soon. Things that I've noticed about the animations of this game, they are a little bit stiff. I do think that the units could use a little bit more life, a little bit more swing and sway and weight to them. Hey, we got archery range and gate. I'm going to go with archery range first because it feels better to me, and we'll put an archery range in right there. And actually, we kind of just want to stamp out archers right now. And we just want to get them kind of like along the walls on the back side to help out with the defense, because they can fire over the walls in an arc. So they'll do volley fire. Another thing that I've noticed is when melee units run into each other, they're very slidey and they tend to push each other around. And they don't really pair off to fight in a satisfying way. In addition, unit control and unit selection can be a little bit iffy. And what I mean by that is if I select 3 swordsmen and tell them to attack a goblin platoon, it's very probable that one unit will engage the goblin platoon and the other 2 will stay in the back not doing anything. Little things with the pathfinding like that need to be fixed. I know the game's going into early access, but those are rough edges that people can bump their elbows on. And we want people with unbumped elbows, because bumped elbows, they leave big red reviews on Steam, which are bad for the game. And I, being an advocate for indie games, I prefer that every single indie game get the best reviews it possibly can. I'm cheering for these games. We've got movement speed for our champion. Yeah, I'll do that one so that I can move him around a little bit faster. But we are going to have to kind of like pick up gate or wall 2 at some point. And if we don't pick up gate and wall 2, things are going to get worse before they get better. Those goblins are down. Good. Archers are doing their job. They're trying to engage my archers over here. No, sir. You will engage with Galahad. Although technically he's in the present tense right now, so he'd be like Galahaz. After he dies, he'd be Galahad. But, you know, let's not get stuck up on the phonetics of the whole thing. Hooked on phonics. Messed me up for life, not gonna lie. House of Healing, Lumberjack Tools, Strong Champion. I guess I'll take the healing spell. This makes my champion. He radiates healing energies every 5 seconds. And since units in this game don't tend to heal on their own, it can be actually really, really helpful to have. There is a building called the Healing House that you no doubt saw come up. If you take your units over to the Healing House, they will use the Healing House. And it will restore their lost platoon members and make them stronger. But that takes them out of the fray for a little while, which can happen at really, really bad times where you really, really need somebody to be, like, blocking and protecting the town from certain things. We still have no gates. We still have no walls, too. Not good. Not good. But we do have about a little 2-minute period here where we're going to be slaughtering a lot of really low-tier goblins. So we should level up reasonably quickly. Yeah, as you can see, each platoon of goblins giving us a nice little grip of XP. It's just once the guys with the shields and the actual orcs and warg riders and stuff show up, that's when things are going to get a little bit hectic. Cleave away. What you got for me? Gate 1. I was asking for it, and there it is. We now have it. We'll get the gate up. We do have to manage the door to the gate by opening and closing it. We have to let caravans in. The downside to that is that the goblin AI is smart enough to realize that the gate is open, and they will just try to run through the gate. So watch out for that. How's my amassed fire doing down here? These units do evolve. They level up, and then independently of that, if we get Archery School 2, we can turn them into crossbowmen or long shots. Long shots are long-range archers that also put a poison damage over time effect on enemies that can actually be pretty delightful if they've got a lot of armor. And then the crossbowmen, they deal more damage the closer the enemy is. We can build farms if we want to. Oh, there's tier 2 guys coming. Okay. I'm going to build a couple farms to get my unit cap up and get a couple more stacks of archers that I can kind of spread around the walls a little bit. But we do have walls up in every sector, and it's looking pretty good. We are going to need to get some XP pretty soon, though, and get some higher tier units or some higher tier walls. It doesn't really matter. We just need one of the two, either higher tier units or higher tier walls, and we will be okay. They're trying to get through my gate, so I'm going to close the door right there. Close the gate! Master Kenny is here! All right. They are piled up a little bit over here, and I don't very much like that. They may actually get through this time around. I don't know. We're starting to win in the south, and he's tanking over here to give us a better shot. But they are coming in pretty strongly and pretty aggressively right now. What you got for me? Walls 2. Come on, baby. No walls 2. Lame. We'll just go with Philosopher's Stone, since I think this is going to be a failed run just due to RNG getting us. We get gold every time our hero kills somebody. And since we do seem to be in the business of killing fools, it may work out all right. There are add-ons that you can put onto buildings. So, for example, we can cover our wall in spikes if we wanted to do so. We can also put, like, inspiring statues in front of the gate that give everybody fighting near the gate a big buff. I do like the amount of add-ons and things that exist inside the game. I think that makes the game really, really fun, actually. Archery range 2. I was just asking for tier 2 units, and there's our tier 2 units. Let's go ahead and go archery range 2, and we're going to start upgrading these guys to... Oh, those guys are wounded down there. Okay, give me some long shots. Give me some long shots. And the long shots hit considerably harder. When this guy goes down, he's going to drop a big chest of gold. That's the first mini-boss down. Yeah, those guys are going to hit the gates pretty hard from here on out. You guys can fire it like everything. Just keep on doing it. They are going to get through the gate right there. But time will tell if they actually get to any of the money parts of my base. Any of the cash money areas. I don't really care if those little archers die, in all honesty. I guess I can make... Oh, they stay wounded. Okay, I was hoping it would heal them when I upgraded them. All right, well, that's life. That's life and the way it goes. This tower needs to be repaired, and some of these walls need to be fixed as well. But we did get a caravan through, which is nice. Walls 2, please. No walls, too. Okay, I'll take a free squad of spearmen, I guess. I don't know if it's going to be helpful, but it doesn't count towards my unit cap, so get them on in here, Bubba. Get them on in here. You guys come down here and reinforce. This southern gate is getting pounded on pretty good. Another level up. There's wall 2. Very nice. Okay, so we'll get wall 2 done in a second. And wall 2 is nice because it gives us parapets. And on top of those parapets, we can actually place our archers. So that's good. We probably want to start saving for that. Those guys take 1250. Yeah, we can go some more crossbowmen. Sure, why not? Crossbowmen are chunking away here. I'm going to assist when and where I can. My spearmen are holding the line. The spearmen are really squishy, but they do a lot of damage. That's kind of their thing. All right, enemies down. I hear the gwaws of dying orcs, which is fantastic. Nothing makes me happier. Let's go wall 2. Wall 2. And then you guys get up on the wall. You guys get up on the wall. What's my hero doing? They might need some aid over here. Let's go ahead and take these up to level 2 walls. Get the archers on the walls to increase their range and make them hit a little bit harder. I don't know if that's actually what it does. It just looks cool with them on the walls, okay? So we're going to put them on the walls. Yeah, it looks like we're dropping them before they get here now. We had like that brief panic period where we were trying to adapt to the situation, but we seem to be all right now. I'm going to start accumulating some iron so we can go up to level 3 upgrades. So there's our little iron mine right there. We've got a little guy digging away. Alas, my poor spearmen have finally been slain. We are leveling like crazy right now, though. We're getting a lot of XP at the moment. What else you got for me? Wall 3, actually. Okay. Yeah, let's go with Wall 3. That's a new card. I actually haven't seen Wall 3 yet, so I'm interested to see how this goes. You come back over here and help. You become a level 2 wall. And we shouldn't have to retrofit too many more things now. I think we're looking good. Yeah, see, he wasn't fighting right there. He was just standing there. So a little bit more AI direction when a unit is attacked from the outside by another unit might be a good thing, too. Keep them focused on wiping out the enemy. All right, so with Wall 3, pretty expensive. Pretty... Close the gate, by the way. Those guys have the suspicious look of a group of enemies that are coming for my gates. You guys become long shots. Just to give us a little bit more centralized damage towards the middle of the gate. I do need my hero to come over here and regenerate these guys. I may actually put them, like, right here so that they get the benefit of his AoE heal and resurrection. Because I don't want to send them off to go to the healing house or anything just yet. But I do want them to get the heal. Yeah, there we go. All right, you just stand there and give them heals for a minute. Okay, what else do we have going on here? We've got javelins, swordsmen, lumberjack tools. We are a little bit low on wood, so I'm going to get a 60% wood output, which I think is a good idea. I don't know if we have lumberjack 3. We do have lumberjack 3. Well, why did I not buy that? Oh, good, the Warg Riders are here. Fantastic. All right, we'll continue firing at them. They got one of their units back. The Warg Riders are pretty squishy. They just happen to hit really hard. We've got Swordsman Barracks, House of Healing, Iron Mine 2. Let's go with a Bastion ability on my main hero. That's going to make him immune to damage for 6 seconds whenever I click this little button down here. I would recommend that this UI follow a more standardized RTS approach. I think with the toolbar for the advance and the hold and the attack move and the abilities, it could be a little bit bigger and it could be in the center right here, and it would just change for whatever unit you have selected. And I think that would be a good idea because these guys right here are really, really small and hard to see. And if you moved it to the middle right here, like Warcraft 3 or like StarCraft or whatever, I feel like it might work a little bit better. It looks like we're holding, which is good news. I do need to repair that tower. I'm going to take that up to a level 3 wall. Ooh, look at that wall right there. Can I get cannons or something? Ranged units will deal... Oh, they can light their... Ooh, okay. So we get pitch buckets on the walls so that ranged units can light their arrows on fire. Give me another line of longbowmen right there. Gate 2. I think that's an obvious next choice. So there we go. Gate 2 is now up. Let's go level 3 right there. Let's upgrade you guys to long shots. And I'm going to try to get this upgraded to level 3. I do appreciate the fact that all the buildings in this game and all the units do actually change their appearance. And so, like I said, this is a game where a lot of the details are in the right place. There's just kind of like an overall clunkiness that I think they're going to have to buff away from the control scheme and the unit selection and the way that units in melee engage with each other. You may notice that I'm not using melee units at all. There's a reason for that. The melee combat gets a little wonky, and there's no guarantee that your infantry guys are actually doing what they're supposed to do when they're on a wall, or when they're basically in a shield wall or whatever. It can be a little bit of a headache. What do we have? Swordsman Barracks, Iron Mine 2. Let's call it Iron Mine 2, I guess. I mean, we've kind of run out of technologies here that are going to make us get further on into the game, in my opinion. But we've only got to survive for 3 more minutes, so we'll see. I haven't beaten this level yet, so this may be the time that we beat it. Let's get inspiring statues in front of the gate so that everybody's getting buffs for being near or around the gate. We'll let that caravan in. And then over here, I want the fire buckets and the fire buckets, and as you can see, it added little sconces to the walls, so now we're lighting people on fire. So not only are they now putting poison damage on the enemy, they're also putting burning damage on the enemy. However, we have a new unit that I've never seen here advancing towards our walls. I'm a little bit nervous about it. These guys have some pretty tall shields, so this may get a little bit wild and crazy. I would like to take that up to a level 3 wall, and I would like you guys to have the fire braziers as well. We do seem to be dropping the enemy where they stand. So hopefully this allows us to operate and focus fully on the Black Orcs. Oh wow, they're hitting really hard. Okay, fall back to the inspiring wall. You're just going to have to hold, my friend. There's really no way around it. Just stay in the mix for as long as you can. I'll disengage you in just a second, but that's about the best I can do. Maybe kite them around a little bit. That might also help the archers get ahead. They are dying very, very slowly. Let's say strong champion, 20% more damage off my hero sounds good. I don't know how bad these guys are going to smoosh my walls. I've never seen this unit before. The ensmooshing may be upon us. Yeah, they hurt the walls quite a bit. The walls are definitely feeling the sting, and here comes the final wave. We just got to last like 1 more minute, I think. Ooh, but the gate is down. Let's go ahead and get the gate back up. How about that? Yeah, let's just take that gate back up to where it was. Lots of bad guys around. Black Orcs on the wall. Okay, we're probably going to need Tower 3 or something if we want to get through the Black Orcs. My hero's about to go down. I need him to disengage from this combat. He's taking too much damage. If you can kite him around a little bit. Oh, no, dude. Oh, I think my hero's going down, man. I don't think he's going to make it. It's looking bad. Is this the end for the realm of men? Have the orcs come and reduced us down to feeding fodder? I shan't nary know. $300 HP left on my hero. Oh, boy. Oh, I think we do have to survive for 25. Oh, no. Okay, so get the tower back up. Get that up to level 2. Oh, that wall's now down to... Oh, dude, I think they're breaking through. We made it so close, but I think this is the end. Within 4 minutes of the goalpost. It hurts. It's stingy. It feels bad, but this is my best survived time. We made it out to like 21 minutes, and my previous best was like 14, so I think my deck is working. Like, I think the deck is in a solid spot. We earned a whole bunch of money, so let me show you how the progressive elements work for this game. Basically, you go to the card shop, and you just pay money, and it'll give you 3 choices of booster packs you want to take. You click on it, and it tells you what you get. I would like to see the... I would like to see... basically the coinage also be used for upgrading heroes. I think the diversity in this game is what's going to make it matter. Like, if they can get a couple armies in that all play a little differently with different heroes, and you get to pick your hero at the beginning, and by picking your hero at the beginning, you actually can spend money on individual heroes to, like, passively buff them and make them stronger in between rounds. I think there's enough meta here for it to be interesting and for the core loop to feel good, but there's also room for extra layers of depth. Arrow Tower 3. Hell yeah, a squad of paladins. Very cool. What else can I get in here? What you got for me? The game does seem to have a lot of cards. Like, in the early access, I've been playing for 4 or 5 hours, and it's still spitting out a ton of cards that, like, I actively want to put into my deck, and so that's a really good sign as well. Now that we're coming up on the end of the video, it's time for me to summarize some of my thoughts about the game. I'm going to go ahead and try to do that so you can get a good feel for whether or not this early access is a good fit for you, or if it's just a little bit too raw at the outset. But let's get to it. So I think with Warlords Under Siege, what it boils down to is that this is definitely an early access project. There are little things that I think need to be seen to. I've had goblins that are in close melee combat near my wall glitch through the wall without destroying it or anything else. There's issues with little bits of pathfinding and the aggression of units. There's issues with unit selectivity and also with units just kind of sitting around doing nothing even though they're being pounded on by other enemies. Things like that I think are going to be priority 1. However, despite the fact that the game is obviously low budget and it's got a few issues in its early access with regards to the way that the game feels and controls and an overall stiffness of animations and things of that nature, the good news here is that I do think that they have a very, very strong core premise to build on. The game is playable right now. There will be little annoyances with controlling your army and whatnot, but that having been said, at the end of the day, the game did have me wanting to play it more, and that's a really, really strong sign. This is a game that kind of has that same addictive loop that Retropolis had when it came out, and I think tapping into something like that is actually tremendously powerful. I've enjoyed building up my castle and losing over and over again, but yes, there are issues with animation, with pathfinding, with the way that the units engage and control with one another, and then based on RNG and what cards you get, it's definitely possible to be stuck at a certain level advancement for a while until you get like a certain level of tower or like a certain level of bowman, so on and so forth. But I do think that this is a very strong idea for a game. I think it's got some beautiful artwork. I do like the soundtrack, even though it only seems to have the one song. In between, when I recorded this little after section, I did notice that we made it 20 minutes on the last map, and the Passage of the Dead, the second map, did unlock, and on that map you have to defend from 2 directions. You're surrounded, and so the game does seem to have aspirations of becoming more complicated and becoming more deadly and becoming more vicious and like really, really trying to throw snags in the player's way as you try to get around all these things that are going wrong. And so I think they have plans with this game. I think that those plans are fairly obvious as of right now. It definitely needs some polish. It definitely needs some work with regards to the things that I mentioned, but I do think that the idea is very, very strong, and if they can get that polish taken care of, they have a very good foundation for what is effectively an infinitely expandable game that I think people that like hybrids of RTSs, tower defense, and roguelikes, and also a little bit of deck building in there, are probably gonna dig. I enjoyed the little details, like the buildings each have a graphic when they upgrade. The units have a little upgrade to the visuals when they upgrade. Like the enemies, there are many, many different types of enemies, like 6 or 7 on the first level. I don't know if the Passage of the Dead is going to have like zombies or something else like that. I haven't played around with it, but it sounds like it might. And so anyways, for the layer of jank that exists on top of this game and some of like the ways that it mechanically expresses itself, I do think that the idea is very, very solid and very, very strong if they can get those things fixed, because the game is fun. I found myself last night wanting to, like, play more, even though I was off the clock and not working on YouTube stuff anymore. And so anyways, my name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what is worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were messing around a little bit with Warlords Under Siege. This current play doesn't seem to be going very well because I didn't pull walls out of my deck, which is really the gambit of the deck I currently have built. Ah well, que sera. I'll be back tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet, but up until then, it's time for you and I to be separated. Farewell, folks. Y'all take it easy, and it's been fun.